Welcome to the Sharkpreneur Podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Green. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Green is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Green. Today I have the good fortune to be joined by Emeric, co-founder and CEO of Agorapulse. He is the co-founder and CEO of Agorapulse, a top-ranked social media management platform that he built from the ground up to $20 million in revenue, all without external funding. So, known for pioneering innovations like the first social media inbox and patented ROI tracking analytics, Emeric's expertise lies in creating tools that empower marketers to prove their value, something we're all interested in. Emeric, thanks so much for joining us.
Steph, this is my pleasure. You promised me to make me look good. You're already doing a great job.
Well, thank you very much. So let's go back in time a little bit. How did you and Agorapulse get started?
You mean in entrepreneurship or
Yes.
just with the Agorapulse project? Like, entrepreneurship was in 2000, so it's been almost 26 years. And I got started in entrepreneurship because I think I had that in my DNA. And I know it's not a great answer, but I felt like I needed to build my own story and I need my own dreams. So that's why I got started. I was a business lawyer before, so it's a completely different career. I have no regrets, but there has been some difficult years where I was wondering if I made a wise choice or if I should have stayed in the legal profession, make a ton of money, and have a good life, because entrepreneurship, as you may know, is not always easy. We started Agorapulse in 2011 on the dead body of our previous business that was generating annual recurring revenue still, but was not working well. So we used the ARR that we were getting from that previous business to basically fuel and fund the new business. So I keep saying we were bootstrapping that we didn't raise VC money to grow the business. And we used that cash flow. And the first 4 years were really slow and really tough, but in 2015 we reached we broke even, so we reached profitability, and from that point forward, life was just a walk in the park. Well, not so much, but at least we had profit we could rely on and sleep better at night and make payroll at the end of the month without worrying how it would look like. So
awesome. I'm sure the longer version of that story could probably fill a book somewhere if it hasn't already. What inspired you to start Agorapulse in the first place?
In the first place, the truth is I needed to make money and survive, and I pivoted several times by listening to customers and what they needed at the time. So just so you understand the context, the previous business that was not working was a business that was already a technology business, and it allowed people to create their own social networks online. And that was really, really hard in 2010, 2011. And what we kept hearing from the customers, like, oh, we don't care about creating our own social network. There's one that's growing and going really well. That was Facebook at the time, 2010. And that's where we want to go. And that's the opportunity we want to see. So we kept dealing with objection for trying to, as we were trying to sell or build your own community online. And we listened, and based on that, we said, okay, we got to do something on Facebook, because that's what people want. So that's how, like, in a very short nutshell, how things got started. And from there, we started to hear, oh, Facebook is not enough. So we started adding more social networks. And then in the very early days, what people wanted to do on social networks was to run contests, promotions, and sweepstakes to gain more followers, which were called fan, if you remember that, at the time. And slowly, we saw that need was shifting from that contest, promotion, sweepstakes, getting more followers, to a more, can I post, can I reply, can I engage, can I measure? So that's how slowly but surely between 2011 and 2015, our product evolved from a contest, promotion, and sweepstakes on Facebook to a full-blown social media management software. The way it happened was really by listening to customers and identifying the market trends that were, where the market was going and where we had to go if we wanted to survive, basically, and stay relevant.
So, what did Agora start offering, and what does it look like now?
Well, again, started offering contest,
Yes.
promotions, and sweepstakes on Facebook. And what it looks like now is 10 different social networks, not only Facebook, obviously. And for those 10 different social networks, we do publishing in all shapes and form. Like, it's very, very different types, very varied types of publishing. And we help people create content, then post the content on those various social networks, and then get the engagement back. So people reacting to the content by sending DMs or messages or comments or reviews, and any type of interactions that audiences are having with brands on social networks. We gather all of these so you can reply to them when you can reply to them, or you can hide them, or you can delete them when you can delete and hide. Like, apply some sorts of moderation. We have some AI automation that goes with helping you identify what you need to do first and what should require your attention, especially when you have high volume. That can be very helpful. And we give you a lot of statistics about that. What are people talking about? What is there a spike coming up on something, and so on and so forth. We also allow that on the World Wide Web, like by providing, we call that web and social listening capability. So you're not only reacting to what people do with your profile and when they engage back with you, but you're also reacting to what they are saying on forums and Reddit and blogs and media and all sorts of different places on social, and obviously mentioning you on Instagram or X or whatever that is. And finally, we help you measure all of that, which is, does it make sense? Does it work? Does it grow the business? Does it grow your presence? Do you resonate? Does your content resonate with the audience? Do they send you positive signals or negative signals on that content, and which type of content? So, like, all sorts of things that help you understand how things work. At the end of the day, what we are trying to achieve is to help businesses create value for their business on social networks, on social media. And value usually means traffic, visibility, any kind of engagement. Like, they come to your website and they register to a webinar, they listen to a podcast, they watch a video. That's engagement on your own stuff. And they sign up for a free trial. That's even better engagement. And then eventually they call for a demo or they want to buy your things. That's the ultimate engagement. So we're trying to connect what happens on social networks with those signals of those intentions that they are expressing by taking actions on your site and different marketing assets. So we're trying to connect the dots between those two things, and that's the vision of the company, which is we want to make sure that when people are investing on social media, they're seeing value out of that investment.
Well, that is obviously something. Attribution and tracking is incredibly vital. What are some of the trends in social media management you're seeing now that we can't afford to ignore?
The one trend that we all can't afford to ignore, and that I am very excited to start working on to help businesses seize, because it's a threat and an opportunity at the same time, is that social media has completely drastically changed in the past 2 or 3 years. It is absolutely not the same thing as it used to be, and it requires a completely different strategy. And basically, to summarize it, so all those who will listen to that understand that very very quickly and very clearly. Social media used to be based on the audience that you built there. I mean, the followers, the followership. So you basically had to invest in getting people to subscribe, to follow, to like, to love, to whatever the name was, your profile and your brand on social. And then you had followers, then you had an audience or subscribers. And then they were shown your stuff depending on, how many people they were following or brands or yada, yada, yada. Without followers, it was really hard. So you had to build that followership. And that's what it was, social media. And now a lot of very influential people are calling that interest media and not social media anymore. And that's because you don't need an audience. You don't need to build that followership. Of course, that followership still matters and you still want it, but you don't need that. And it will not guarantee that you're going to be seen by your audience on social. What's going to guarantee that is the connection between the interests that the target audience you has and your content. So basically, what you need to do to make sure that you win in this new interest media era, you need to be very, very focused on your target persona. Who is you're trying to attract? What do they look like? How do they call themselves? What is their job title? Where do they live? And be very, very intentional about creating content that addresses these very narrow set of people, problems and pains and issues, and make it in a way that the algorithm will understand. Oh, I understand this brand wants to talk to these type of people. I know these type of people are interested by these kind of content. Oh, they just created these kind of content. Let me show it to them and see if it works. Oh, it does work. Let me show more of that content from that brand to those people, and so on and so forth. So basically, the way the algorithm works is they're trying to match the interest of the audience they're trying to reach and the solutions or um, um, the helpfulness of the content that you produce, or the entertainment sometimes of the content that you produce, and the fact that it fits what this specific persona is looking for. So what it means is that before, in the era of social media, before, what you had to do is build a lot of followership and create interesting content, like whatever it was. You didn't really have to focus on who are they to create interesting content. Just have they be as big as possible, and then post stuff that was well done and interesting and sometimes entertaining and so on and so forth. Now what you have to do is be very narrowly focused on who you want to talk to, understand them really, 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 really well, and create content that's what I told my team, I tell them, create content that they would pay for if it was not free on social. Like create content that they would absolutely pay money for. And once you have that, the algorithm are going to start seeing that they are very interested by this type of content. They would pay for it, obviously. So they must be very interested. And they're going to start showing more of your stuff to them. And that's how the connection is going to be made between you and your ideal audience through the algorithm. And that's why the social media game in 2025, 2026 is very different from what it was in 2020 or 2019. And it requires amazing content strategy, basically. That's the main difference. And and then we're building the future of how you can do that at scale. How can you be super interesting at scale on social media? Basically, that's the new problem I want to solve.
How to be super interesting at scale. I love that.
Yeah.
You have worked with household name companies like Atari and StreamYard. What's next?
What's next for us really is this challenge that I'm really excited about, which nobody has nailed so far, is how do you leverage AI to produce really high quality content that's very, very targeted to a very, very narrowly defined ICP, ideal customer profile, in a way that's obviously it's going to take some work from you, from me, from our customers, but that takes like 10 times less work than it would take to actually do it yourself. So that is what's next for us. We've already solved the puzzle of automating everything that's happening after the content is being published, but the the piece of the puzzle that has not been solved is what happens before, what happens at the stage of what content what do I need to create? So inspiration, ideation, since now you need to be so good at understanding this persona and producing for them, AI is actually the best sidekick you can get to understand them. Oh, I actually spied on them for the past year. And I can tell you, these are the things that they click on. These are the things that they react to. These are the things that they ask. These are the things that they claim is painful for them. So this is what I suggest you should build. And these are the proposals that I make for you that you just have to adjust, click a button and make it your own, add your own tone of voice and so on and so forth. But the whole content creation game is going to drastically change in the next 2 years, and we want to be part of that revolution.
That sounds amazing. Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
That it changes all the time, and there's always new challenges, and there's always new opportunity to learn. I mean, being active and still mentally sound in 2025 in this era of a new industrial revolution is such an amazing time. It is stressful. It is challenging. It can lead to some anxious moments for sure, for everyone, including me. But that's true with every radical change. And I think entrepreneurs are especially well equipped to face those radical changes because that's how they thrive in chaos and in totally new and uncertain new situations and uncertainty. So I absolutely love that.
Awesome. Well, we know your time is incredibly valuable. We greatly appreciate you spending some of it with us. For our viewers and listeners who want to learn more, where is the best place for them to go?
The best place to connect with me is LinkedIn. So just send me a LinkedIn invite and add a little note in there that says where you heard about me. That's the way to get through me.
And what about about Agorapulse?
Yeah, you can definitely check Agorapulse, www.agorapulse.com and give it a try. There's a free trial, lasts for 30 days, so you can give it a shot yourself. And you won't learn a lot about me, but you learn about what I'm passionate about, which is building a great product.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate your time.
My pleasure, Seth. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.